I'd like to call the General Committee meeting to order. Wherever our body please rise for prayer. Ms. Foche.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening asking a special blessing upon those gathered here to work together in the best interests of our children. We pray for our teachers and students that they may be able to focus on the challenges within the classroom and forge relationships that will promote positive environments for teaching and learning. Be with our administrators as they work to support the work of our teachers and give them the extra enthusiasm they need to pull their teams in productive directions. We are grateful, Lord, that you give us such talented and dedicated employees who are always willing to go the extra mile to help our students reach their greatest potential. These things we pray in your name. Amen.
Mr. Egan, will you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Foche, will you do a roll call?
Mrs. Acevedo? Here. Mr. Campbell? Here. Mr. Egan? Mrs. Jackson is not with us. Mrs. Lemoyne? Here. Mrs. Dysart? Here. Mr. England?
Here.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Warner?
Here.
Mrs. White?
All right, thank you, Ms. Foche. Before we get started, I'd just like to recognize a few people in the audience tonight. We got Judge Kim Jones with us tonight. And we also have Council Lady Ms. Wanda Acorn. And also, we have Assistant DA, Mr. Danny Dysart. I guess we can get started now.
And a lot of other wonderful people as well.
And thank you all for attending this meeting. Thank you. Also, Ms. Snyder, Super News.
Good evening, folks. In your folders for tonight, I know we have a couple of different things, so I'll go through this quickly. You do have the communications report for September. You'll see a few of the press releases, those things that made it into the local news. Behind that, you'll see our social media for the last couple of weeks, and then a series of upcoming events just to mark your calendar for the fall and winter season. Mm-hmm. I know most of you were able to attend the breakfast where we did distribute our quality report, which is in your folders for those of you who weren't able to make it or if you just wanted a different copy. That is also included. This will round out our publication series for the summer. So we did have the At Your Fingertips, which was the brochure that went out throughout the community, the calendar, and then finally our quality report. And before we start Super News, I did just want to introduce, we have the privilege this semester of being joined by Lauren Maupin, who, I said it correctly? Yes. Okay. Lauren is a Shawmut High graduate, 2016. She is a senior at Dillard. She's a communication major with an English minor, and she'll be working with the Men of Penn and learning some different broadcasting techniques and things like that. So we're excited to have her on the team for this summer, or for this fall, and look forward to working with her. So without further ado, we're going to head back and watch this month's Super News.
Now, from the desk of the superintendent's office, it's time for Super News.
Hello, I'm Barry Lemoyne.
And I'm Alex Schneider, and welcome to this edition of Super News.
We'll kick things off with a look at our recent Day of Reflection breakfast. Over 500 guests and over 100 students took part in this celebration, showcasing the people and programs at our schools. With the theme of connection, the breakfast focused on the district's strong relationships with our community partners like the agencies, service groups, and parents who play such a vital role in our success.
Each morning, nearly 2,000 students here at Shawmut High School start the day with a heartfelt and inspiring morning message delivered by Mr. Wayne Warner, the longest-serving principal in the United States and a true community treasure. He's been with us for over 50 years. But what has always struck me about Mr. Warner's morning message is that he always ends it the same way, reminding us that the choices we make today shape our world tomorrow. And as a soon-to-be graduate and a product of our great public school system, I know that the opportunities ahead of me are in a large part because of the programs and people who have been a part of my educational journey and the choices they help inspire.
Kudos to our 3 student hosts for the event and to all of the behind-the-scenes people who made the breakfast possible. This 14th annual Day of Reflection truly was a positive and community-centered event, showing the importance of our connections and reminding everyone that in St. Bernard, we are family.
In addition to value in family, our district also values fiscal responsibility, as illustrated by another recent accolade bestowed upon our business department. For the 26th consecutive year, our Chief Financial Officer, David Fernandez, and the St. Bernard Parish School District received awards for excellence for its work in financial reporting. This continued commitment to financial integrity builds trust within our community. Congratulations to David and his staff for your efforts. I guess it's like they say, teamwork makes the dream work.
It's hard work, but it's worth it, and I think it reflects well. And not only does the award reflect the financial statements and the notes and the exhibits in the financial statements, it's also a presentation of the financial statements. And I just wanted to mention there's a person that has been helping us for years with the financial statements in terms of the covers and the presentation. We did the statements on the inside, but the look of the financial statements was primarily due to her, and that's the lady by the name of Miss Pat Acevedo. And she was a long-term employee of the school system, and even after she retired, she stayed working for us doing these statements every year.
And speaking of teamwork, the fall season of sports is underway with both high school volleyball and football teams opening their respective seasons. Coaches and players worked hard this summer, preparing our student athletes for another successful season of competition. We wish all of our Owls well as they gear up for district play.
Also gearing up for a big event are the members of the Chalmette High School Alumni Association, which will host its annual social on Friday, September 20th, following the Chalmette High School Holy Cross football game. So whether you're a graduate of Chalmette High School, Andrew Jackson, St. Bernard, S-Bus, or an ABC, an alumni by choice, we invite you to come to return to the nest to be part of the Alumni Social. Alumni band members are also invited to be part of the Game Time Fun. Information about the game and the social are available by visiting the Chalmette High School alumni page on Facebook.
The St. Bernard Reading Association is also recruiting members to its ever-growing team. The group recently held its kickoff meeting at the MoMA Center and looks forward to another successful year. Tessie Whitestein, the president of the local group, is also a leader for the state's Louisiana Reading Association. She said St. Bernard has the biggest council and highest participation of all the districts in the state and plans to keep it that way. I guess that speaks volumes about our teachers' love of literacy. Reading, volumes, you get it?
Fall also means festival season, and as part of the tradition, Araby Elementary's chorus and dance team will help kick off the Old Araby Sugar Festival, which takes place on Saturday, October 12th. That day is also Election Day, so just as a reminder, remember to vote.
In other news, 2 of our school board members were part of the St. Bernard contingency that gathered in Baton Rouge recently as guests at the Governor's Mansion. This special gathering for elected officials was hosted by Governor John Bell Edwards and First Lady Donna Edwards, who welcomed leaders from across the state, thanking them for their dedicated service and commitment to the communities they serve.
Service was also celebrated at another recent event when Chalmette High School hosted its Breakfast of Champions. This PBIS-sponsored event honored students for notable academic achievement, perfect attendance, and positive leadership. Students were celebrated for a wide array of awards ranging from honor roll status to subject area excellence. It was a great way to remind everyone that good owls really do give a hoot.
Each May, many Chalmette owls sit for these exams for hours in the Black Box Theater. The exams go beyond the rigor of a traditional final and challenge our students in English language and composition, English literature and composition, calculus, human geography, psychology, biology, and U.S. history. Those who earn a score of a 3, 4, or 5 on these exams have the potential to earn college credit before even leaving Chalmette High's campus as a high school graduate.
Well, that will just about do it for this edition of Super News. But before we go, we invite you to take a look at our recent quality report that was distributed throughout the community. This publication documents some of the district's successes, highlighting some important numbers, accomplishments, and outcomes.
We'd also like to remind all of the drivers and commuters out there of a few things as the school year continues. Please observe the speed limits in our school zones, don't text and drive, and please don't pass our school buses when they are dropping off our most precious cargo, the kids of our community. Thanks to all of you for helping to keep our students safe.
And finally, the fall dates for our public shows at the MoMA Center Planetarium are now online, featuring everything from dinosaurs to space travel. Check the link below for more details about these awesome offerings.
Thanks for tuning in today, and on behalf of all of us here at Penn TV, we remind you all to stay informed, stay involved, and stay connected. And we'll see you here next time on Super News, where we always let the Super News roll. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Well, Ms. Snyder, there's never a dull moment in our school system. I can see that. Okay. And we thank you for all your efforts, and y'all did a fantastic job. Any board members would like to say anything to Ms. Snyder? Keep up the good work. Okay, move on to item number 5, a donation from the St. Bernard Autism Crew. Ms. Sharon McCurdy, welcome here.
Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the St. Bernard Parish School Board. I'm happy to speak to you all tonight to introduce to you our newest community partner, the St. Bernard Autism Awareness Crew. I've had the pleasure of working with every one of the board members present tonight and many additional volunteers who are dedicated to creating unique opportunities for our students with special needs in our parish. As we continue to connect with our students and families, tonight we would like to share another initiative idea that the St. Bernard Parish School System and the St. Bernard Autism Awareness Crew will implement with your blessing. As the special education supervisor for our district, I'm always looking for the innovative ways to accommodate all of our students. The St. Bernard Autism Awareness Crew is happy and willing to provide assistance in the form of a monetary donation. Tonight, members of the board are present to share the organization's donation with all of you. The St. Bernard Parish School Board has supported all of our students with special needs through the avenues of funding and staff support. Our partnership vision includes what we're calling sensory go bags with the tools specifically designed for each individual student's unique needs. These sensory needs are identified by our staff members and professionals, which includes our occupational therapist, the school social workers, and the school psychologists in conjunction with each student's IEP team members. This project has and will continue to provide our students with the sensory tools necessary for them to be successful in their special education classrooms, their general education classrooms, their homes, and their community. As we expand these tools, data will be collected to evaluate the success of this initiative. I provide a few samples for you tonight that you may want to play with, as I've watched you guys do that. But these are parts of what we call sensory diets for our students. And it's not really a diet, we all have a diet, right? But these are the tools that each individual student may need. I've also provided you a packet tonight, not that we're going to go over it, but if you have some additional questions or concerns, or if you just want to share this information with your members of your families and the community, inside those packets is just the vision of the sensory bag and how we are developing each bag for each individual kid. And then on top of that, the tools and the evaluations that we use and the way that we gather the information for each individual student's sensory diet needs. So I just wanted to share a couple of them with you tonight, and we're very fortunate to have us a little model for us. And so before we get started, want to introduce yourself?
Riley.
Speak loud too. Some of them have trouble hearing.
Hi, my name's Riley.
Riley. And what's your last name, Riley?
Noto.
Noto. Does your mom teach for us? Is she a teacher? Oh, good. Okay, well, we're going to just show you a couple of things tonight, and I am really happy that Raleigh came tonight to help us, because if not, I was going to have to ask Shelby to do some of this activities, and some of them may be very difficult. So I just wanted to show you, to start with, a couple of things. So the first thing is, this is what our Central Go bags are going to look like. This is our first bag made. Miss Angie picked it up approximately 10 minutes ago, so we're excited to actually have the physical bag. I did provide you a little sample of a paper doll, and so inside each bag will have a student's name in it, and also any tools that they need, so that if they were to go to class, all they do is take their tools with them and go to inclusion or general ed class. If it's some things that they need to take home, they can take it home, into the community, etc. Okay? We try to do whatever we can to provide a consistent support for our kids. These are model desks that may be in some of our classrooms. This, of course, is a high school desk, and this might not be on an elementary desk. This will be on the elementary campus. These are weights that go on the student's wrist. Okay, you're about to come on, so hang on. It's kind of compression or just weights that maybe help them calm down. Okay, a couple of other tools that sit on the desk. These are discs that they sit on. Sometimes they could be blown up to be really hard, sometimes they soft, sometimes it just wiggles with them, because those are things that they need in order to be successful in our classes. This tool right here, which we're going to kind of use Riley to show you, come right over here. These are weighted vests, and if we simply, once they are prescribed by our OT, and they are also recommended by the child's physician, we put them on them like this, and it helps them just to calm down. And when they sit in their desk, they just it just feels like a little weight, you know? Many of us sit in meetings or in just, I guess, in your car, and maybe even looking at Facebook. If you have a watch, you kind of tense like this, you kind of pull up. These types of devices help the kids relax and calm down.
Like a thunder jacket.
So this is going to be her favorite part, I'm sure. Was two favorite parts. This activity is our newest. You excited, huh? I'll chair up for you, okay? Hang on 1 second. This is our newest device we just purchased. We have 5 of them right now. And so what we've noticed is, like, this is kinetic sand, and kids with sensory needs sometimes have a feeling that they either like or dislike. So the kids who like this, sometimes they put their hands in here without the socks, but then sometimes they use the socks because it does kind of give them maybe an irritable feeling. So Miss Riley's going to jump up. She's been waiting to do this for you. And we also put some additional activities and objects in here to help with other types of needs, such as occupational therapy, where maybe they have some problems gripping or maybe pinching, things like that. So this is kind of multidisciplinary when you're trying to do different things. Go ahead and dig in there for us. On the desk that's in, and she's going to play, and we're going to allow her that because she earned that. The desks that sit in the classrooms not only have the seats that they sit on, but you may notice, and I think Ms. Foche actually had one in front of her, these rubber band looking things. Okay, they're called TheraBand. And what the kids do is when they sit in the desk, they sort of bounce their feet on it. Because many of us kind of sit in the meeting, and you may not know it, you kind of put your leg down, or, you know, my husband kind of hits me like that. Physical therapy. So you kind of bounce, and that's what they do, and it helps them to relax.
Therapy, right.
For our high school kids, sometimes we put it on the ends of the chairs like this, so they kind of just kind of play with it a little bit. Many times it's viewed as toys, but these are really sensory tools that we use. This is the favorite one for the elementary kids. So they rock on like this, and they feel that popping. That also helps them with food, believe it or not. So it could be an auditory thing. Many times it does aggravate them too. So it depends on what their needs are. Of course, we have some real typical things that are in front of you that you may have seen. Ms. Acevedo has what we call a lap pillow. So when you sit, you put it on the lap, and it's just that pressure. Can you demonstrate for me? Egan has what we call a cuff, and I believe Ms. Geisler has one as well. Mr. England, Mr. Warner, if you want to put them on for us. Oh, Ms. Oche had one too. Strategically placed those. So these are weighted collars. They can also be used as lap bands too, or lap pads. And so what they do is they weigh you down and just kind of help with that.
To relax.
Yeah, it helps you to relax. Right.
That's good.
Some tools, many of our tools are very inexpensive. So it's not like something that costs a lot. But, and it's easy to replace. But there are some things in front of you that are maybe you've seen before, such as a slinky, little things like this that you just going, what? But these are things that help our kids calm down. We also have books that they use in order to just do individual activities at their desk. It helps them calm down and go through it, and read about it. So Riley is going to now do our favorite activity. Don't see Riley. He's done with that one. See? And this cleans up really easy. If it spills, it's very easy to pick up. Good. All right. We practiced, so she should be good. She even taking the shoes off. See, she's got this under control. So this is a pod, obviously, huh? Right back. Get tight now. Bend your knees. Get close. Right. Good. And so our students like to get in here because it's compression, and it pushes up against them, and most of them all fall asleep in here, really, to be honest. We also put some weighted blankets on top if we need to, or they just come crawl in. You believe this is our favorite toy, I think, in the classrooms.
Right.
Cool, huh?
I'd like that.
Look at it. She's rocking away.
She's been in there a couple of times since I recruited her.
Riley, you're doing a great job.
Lastly, I just wanted to show you guys our planetarium, if you don't mind. It is a little bit cheaper cost than our planetarium, the MoMA Center, but we put these two in the classroom so that the kids calm down in our sensory rooms and in our classrooms. So, I don't know, I did it at work the other day. I called some of the members in and said, y'all come in here, and they were all like this. This is the best they've ever been to staff. I think we need to have this every day. So we had about a 5-minute cool down, you want to call it. All right, Riley, you can jump out of that if you can. I don't know.
Wait till we turn the light on.
Yeah, sometimes that's difficult. She's got it.
Yeah, she's
Well,
good.
they know how to get
She's
in
good.
So,
She's cute as they can be.
I'm sure this has been overstimulating for you guys and very satisfying for her, but tonight I want to introduce to you the board members who are here and who are going to present to us a donation to support this initiative. There's 2 members that could not be with us tonight, and that's Board President Robert Lay and Board Member Lisa Bourne. But tonight we have Board Vice President Danny Dysart. Come on up, Dan. Our board secretary, Wanda Alcon. Board treasurer, Cheryl Lay. And board members, Kim Jones. And board member, Alvin Jones. Okay, I think we're going to do the presentation now, so I'm not really sure if one of the members want to come up from our board or want to go ahead and make that presentation.
Why don't you let her talk first?
Go ahead. Danny, go ahead.
Y'all want to say something
Say something
first?
first.
and then we'll
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, the Autism Awareness Crew was started by Mr. Robert and Ms. Cheryl Lay with Judge Jones and Mr. Alvin Jones a few years ago, and it's been my pleasure to work with Ms. Wanda and others on the board the last few months and be vice president to really bring some change and meaningful benefit to kids. Our mission is to assist St. Bernard families impacted by autism by providing by bringing awareness, but also providing opportunities for resources and education. That starts, really with what we have here in the bags and bringing resources to our kids. Jeremy may have mentioned it, but it's, the bags are not just for students with autism diagnoses. It's any student that has an IEP with a sensory diet or a sensory need. So that's why it's really important to help all kids that, have, issues like autism and other related conditions. The other thing that we're doing, and it actually starts tomorrow, is we're providing a resource, a speaker series. Dr. Michael Norman from the LSU Human Development Center is going to come in from 5:30 to 7:30 tomorrow at Dockville, and he's going to be providing basically the A to Z information that parents need to know in terms of their kids' IEP or their individual education plan. It's broken down into several different parts. That flyer went home with all students last week in the school system. If they have any information or questions or comments, they can reach us at www.stbautismcrew.org or reach out to us on Facebook. I urge anybody that has an interest, that has a student or a child with an IEP, should come out. It's very informative. And if anyone would like to register with the Autism Crew, whether it be as a member or a volunteer, they could also do that at the website and reach out to us. So with that, we'd like to present the check of $10,000 to the school system.
Oh, that's good. Huh? We can do it. That, yeah. Okay. Board members. Yeah. Board members.
This is a super generous donation. We're excited. It will fund about 250 sensory go bags for our students, and it will cover right now, to our knowledge, the students that actually need these sensory go bags. So we're super excited.
We're going to actually do
We're going to turn it.
You guys can come. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Shelby. That'll be the most.
I'll take this one. It's got a cord charge.
Thank y'all.
Why don't y'all step up just a little bit?
Crew for such a generous gift. I know you, the Autism Crew has is it the Kentucky Derby? That's your major fundraiser, and it's wonderful that y'all have pulled together as a group, and y'all are really being proactive in helping students with autism, and we all appreciate it, and I think the parents of all the autistic children do too. And again, $10,000, that's
Right, that's
wonderful.
fantastic.
A really nice, generous gift. And how many bags did you say they're going to provide? 250. That's wonderful. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Right.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Dyson. Okay, one second. And Ms. Riley Noto, thank you for all your hard work tonight.
See that? You need
Mr.
an agent?
Egan.
I'm available. Looking for a second job?
I'm sorry.
I want to congratulate our model. They can't touch you. You were fantastic. And thank y'all all for what y'all do.
Right.
I've had the fortunate, 6 years ago, I went to the Olympics, okay? And it was something else. To see those, I turned it off. Well, it was fantastic to see those kids. And believe me, I've made it every year since then, and as long as the old man can make it, he's going to do for many, many more
I'll pick
years.
you up if you need it.
Oh,
I'll send an Uber for you.
Delivery
well, wait, hon, you might need these worse than I do. But anyway, y'all do a fantastic job in what y'all are doing. I just, when I went, my wife said, "What did you think of it?" I said, if I got to be in court, the judge is going to say, I'll see you. I'll tell him, I'll see you later, okay? And it did happen. But anyway, congratulations to all of y'all for what y'all have done, and of course, with the donation that y'all have made for the kids. Thank y'all all.
Thank you, Mr. Egan. Ms. Lemoyne.
Thank you, Mr. England. I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of the board members for working so hard throughout the year to do the fundraising efforts and to put on these programs. I know that you all are so passionate about this effort. Thank you for partnering with the school system so that we can ensure that all of these materials, like Ms. Kurth said, are research-based, data-driven, so it's wonderful. And I also just wanted to take a point of privilege to congratulate Ms. Wanda Alcon, Councilwoman, who this week received the Louisiana Tourism Association Award for our state. So congratulations, Ms. Alcon.
That's it. Ms. Bocek.
I just want to add my thanks to the autism crew. You know, we just had our 14th annual Day of Reflection breakfast, and as you could see, one of our major theme this year is talking about connections and how we are all in this community connected. Our teachers, our students, our parents, our volunteer organizations that support everything that we do here in our school system. And we could not do everything we do without that committed group of people. And it's just great to have the autism crew. And when I look at the people who are running this organization, I know it's only going to get bigger and better each year. I know the passion that you have in many other organizations that you are that you're in. It seems like those people with the passion and the commitment seem to be able to spread themselves throughout the community in so many different groups and organizations. So thank you so much. We know our kids thank you, and our parents of our children thank you as well. So we're just looking for bigger and better things from the autism crew, as well as all the organizations that support us in our school system and our children. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fauché. Also, I just again like to thank the board members of the autism crew. Y'all did a fantastic job, and keep up the good work. And thank you again. Okay, move on to item number 6. It's a reading association. Ms. Tessie Wright-Stein.
I'll go first.
Good
evening.
You're the follow-up? Yep. All right, okay. Fine.
So that's definitely an impressive presentation to follow. So, good evening. And I'd like to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Kayla Russell, and I'm the kindergarten teacher leader at J.F. Goetsch Elementary School. And I also serve as the president-elect of the St. Bernard Reading Council. So our mission for the 2019-2020 school year is to inspire our members to strive for excellence both within the classroom and as individuals in the community. One of our goals is to retain members and increase attendance at both our meetings and our events. One aspect that the St. Bernard Reading Council is addressing this year is building a strong foundation of literacy and building that strong connection with our community. The St. Bernard Reading Council is hosting events that will provide members who are teachers, administrators, parents with strategies and activities that will strengthen literacy, both within the classroom and the community. We will continue to give back to the community by collecting items for the local food pantries, supplies for soldiers overseas, and toys for Operation Christmas Child. And we are also building the capacity of compassionate and driven educators, which will positively impact our students. So I'd like to turn it over to our president, Ms. Tessie Wright-Stein.
Thanks, Kayla. I'd like to say thank you to all of you for, we had a unanimous joining of the Reading Association last year, and I want to say thank you from us to you guys, because when we go to the LRA events and tell them how supportive, our school board members, they're like, oh my goodness, they're so inspired by the things that we do, and we know you guys always have our back, and we want to thank you for that. We do want to give you a little update of some of the great things going on with the Reading Association. One thing we're very proud of, and I'm glad that we had the recognition in the Super News, is we received an award at the summer LRA Leadership Conference, because we have the largest council in the state of Louisiana. We have 204 members, and we received that award, the membership award, so we're really proud of that. And we're a small district, and to get that award was quite an honor. And partly because of all, of you guys joining that, and we thank you for that. Also, we were honored with, it's the year before Hurricane Katrina was the last year that we received Honor Council status. And I'm proud to report that that was one of the things that we really were was on our mission to do. And there's several things you need to do to get Honor Council. And we received this prestigious award of doing these things. And just to name a few, one is you have to give back to the community. And we have several events that we do give back by collecting our items, collecting those items for overseas. We partnered with Nunez, right, and did some of the food pantry things, and we gave items to Operation Christmas Child. But that's our members who are doing that. When they come to our meetings, they bring something and they make a donation, and we take those collective donations because everybody doing a small part makes a big impact. And if every meeting we do something like that, we take that opportunity to give back to the community. So that's one way we stay connected and keep our efforts making a difference. Another thing you need to do to get an honor council status is you need to do not only events that impact our community, but also things that connect to the international world community. So we do events like Read for America or, literacy, International Literacy Day to connect to the international community to not only inspire our kids to read, but to inspire literacy across the global community. And so we're very proud to do that, and we host several events to do that. Another thing is you have to have events for your members that keep them involved, keep them encouraging students to read and bringing them to the table. And we feel like we have created such an agenda to keep our council moving in the right direction. So that's just to name a few, not an exhaustive list, but it's very exciting. And we also have to have at least 10 ILA members, which are international members. So we're doing a lot to, keep on top of that. And we are confident that we're also going to be applying for the ILA Honor Council. So we have LRA, and we're pretty sure that we have done the things we need to keep us going in that direction. So we were proud of those things, and we wanted you guys to know that happened, and just to give a little shout out for all those people who are working to do those. Also, check out our shirts this year, and our theme is Reading is the Key to Literacy, and so we did put a flyer in there if anybody's interested, and that's another way we stay connected, because on certain Fridays when you can wear black and gold or you can wear spirit shirts, our members show off their shirts in the schools, and everybody gets interested. They ask questions. What is the Reading Association? How can I find out about it? And it's, they love being a part of that and wearing those shirts to the events. There's a few ways people keep in contact to what's going on, and we try to really update those ways and say, how are our teachers and our principals and our community members communicating? Well, we wanted to be on top of that. Well, they communicate through Facebook, so guess what? We communicate through Facebook. They like the Remind app, so guess what? We got on the Remind app, and we're reminding people about our events. Just recently, we added Venmo as a way to pay for our membership and our shirts and those things like that. So we're trying to stay abreast of what works for our members and how to do those things. So that's pretty exciting, all those different ways that we communicate. We do want to kind of point out a couple of events that are going on. We put a magnet in everybody's folder so you can have some save the dates, right? So if you want to put that on your file cabinet or on your refrigerator, it'll kind of give you a little reminder. We welcome you to any event you want to come to, and just feel free to show up. We're going to be keeping those updates on Facebook to let you know where to show up and what time, but this will let you know to put that date down, pencil it. It's always an after-school event. Some things we're excited to present this year is we just had our kickoff meeting. Chris Deere was the Louisiana Teacher of the Year, was our guest speaker, so you can't get better than that because he's also a local author, which worked out just great for us, right? So we were really excited to have him in, and everybody was excited to see what he had to say, and he really motivated us with the message of teach kids to love to read. To love to read, and that was such an inspiring message, and he told the story about how that was very meaningful in his life. Some other events that we're excited about: International Literacy Day, September 8th, right, that just passed, but we were also highlighting how important it is, to embrace literacy across our global community. This year, the ILA conference is in New Orleans, so many times we have to go to other states, and that's hard to do because there's travel costs involved in that. But this year, it's right here in our backyard, right? So ILA members actually save $100. If you're a member, they discount your admission by $100, which is really, a great benefit of being an ILA member. And it's October 10th through the 13th. So we do encourage our members, to check that out if they can. And there's some great sessions, great guest speakers. There's a children's lit day. There's, events and all kind of things that they can be a part of. So that's pretty exciting. last year, one of the biggest events, we had Halloween Boo Bash. We're going to do that again this year. Kids decorated pumpkins like storybook characters. They came in costumes from their favorite characters. You know, they got to be the book character. And so it was one way to, you know, have some fun, but also celebrate literacy. We were able to write a little mini grant, and we bought some books, and we did a book walk where kids walked away with literature that they could actually read. And we had lots of other fun activities there, but everything had some kind of literacy connection. And families had fun, members had fun, kids, grandkids there, all saying, you know what, we love to read, we want to read, reading is fun, and that's what we kind of want them to see. It's the gateway to everything else. So our events try to promote that. Read for the Record is on November 7th, and what we did as an association is every year they have a book that they highlight. We purchased the book for all of our libraries, and the librarians at the school agreed to, they have the students come in and they agreed to read that book as part of, you know, what they're doing for the week as the kids come in, and in that way we can reach almost 3,000 of our elementary students, pre-K to K, that move through the library, and they get to hear the book, and they also make connections. Like last year, one of the schools worked with the art teacher and the librarian together, and they created this huge mural on the wall in celebration of the theme of the book. So that's what they're doing, like to really get kids to embrace that literature and see that reading is fun and it has a message to it. So that's pretty exciting. Family Scrabble night. There's nothing more really to say about that. It's just fun. You're coming in, you're doing a literacy event, and you're getting to spend some time, showing that reading can be fun, words are fun, and we like to learn. Literacy Week is February 9th through the 15th, and this is a proclamation by our governor, John Bell Edwards. This is the official Literacy Week. I know some of our schools do their own literacy weeks around, like when their book fair is coming and all these great things, and we volunteer to read at them. But this is also a week we want to try to celebrate if we can, since this is the state literacy week. And so what we're doing as an association is we're going to have our camp-in during that week to celebrate Literacy Week. And so we're going to do a lot of fun activities and literacy related themes around that. Last year we made s'mores. We read inside of tents with flashlights. We had a song around the campfire with Shelley Lacoste singing, and so I didn't know she could do that, but not me. But that was really fun. Also, Easter extravaganza at Dockville, and we do that every year, and that's been a really great fun event. Gets everybody out there. Easter egg hunts, books, and bubbles, the whole works, and it's really fun. Of course, young authors, everybody realizes that Reading Association and young authors go together. We're really proud of last year, we had 25 state winners from young authors. So we did a phenomenal job with young authors, and we're going to continue to push that, and we're going to celebrate that May 15th. The auditorium at Chalmette High on the 9th grade academy side was filled this last year with all of our winners, and we were so proud of them, and we're going to continue to push that. And then our end of the year awards, and again we invite you to come to any of these events. And that end of year awards is where we really celebrate our teachers of the year, our educators of the year, administrators of the year, and several other events that awards that we put on, and it was a wonderful day. So we just want to encourage you guys and thank you, and I want to thank Ms. Voce and all of the board members for joining. I'm hoping you're going to consider joining again this year, and for everything you do for our students, and together we can build a stronger St. Bernard, and we are connected, and I want to thank you for that.
Right. It looks like y'all got a busy year coming up right now. But really, the key, your shirt that you have right there.
Yeah, you want
reading.
one?
No. No, it's perfect though, because reading is the key to everything, really. If you can't read, you got a major problem.
That's right.
That's right. So it's the key.
It's the gateway to every subject that we have. It's the gateway to just learning anything. So we really push reading, but we make connections at every meeting. It's not just about ELA.
Right.
It's about every subject. So really, it's not just for the reading teacher or the librarian. We now have math teachers coming because they realize it's literacy, you know, that's what
Right.
we're supporting. And that math, you have a lot of math literacy as well.
Oh, yeah,
So-
right, math problems.
That's
You know, you
right.
gotta read the
You
math
gotta read
problems to
them.
get it done.
Exactly.
Right, but fantastic job, keep
Thank
it
you,
up,
Singer.
and if y'all need anything, just let us know.
All right.
Anyone else
We
like to say?
appreciate it.
Ms. Lemoyne?
Thank you, Tessie, for that
Thank
wonderful presentation. And
I
I
gave
just
mine.
wanted to give a shout out to all of the Reading Association board members that are here tonight. Miss Bernie, Kayla,
Yeah, right.
and Maggie, thank you for all that you do for the Reading Association. Miss Roslyn and I had a chance to attend the meeting last week, and I think good teachers are always learning, and I learned a lot sitting in the meeting. So thank you all so much for the hard work that you do. And we mentioned it at the last meeting, but just again, while you're here, we want to congratulate you, Miss Tessie, for being the statewide Educator of the Year for Louisiana.
You know, I never said, but thank you, we appreciate it. And these, I tell you what, I have the best officers that anybody could ever have because they're always here. They do everything. There's never no, you know, and I'm always like, hey, do you mind? No, I don't mind. So they do it also. Really appreciate you guys, so.
Good.
Thank you, guys.
Anyone else?
Good.
Thank you, Tessie. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, move on. Item number 7, update on student enrollment. Ms. Foche.
Okay, at the beginning of each year, we do just a preliminary count of numbers of students, so I've attached or put into your packet at the top part is this year's enrollment at each school and compared on the bottom to last year at this time. These numbers are always in a little state of flux. As you see, as of September 9th this year, we have 7,956 students. At the same time last year, we had 7,746. So we have an increase of about 210 students this year. We also have on the front of your memo the 2 non-public schools in the parish. We have their enrollments on page 1 if you care to look at those as well in a comparison. So you see that we have a few more pre-K students. Our K-5 numbers have decreased slightly. And the glut, you know how when you do your demographics, and I've got it grade by grade, we have a high concentration right now at the middle school level, and then a little bit less in K-5, and pre-K a few more than last year. So I guess it just depends with families and the ages of their children. But 200 students more than last year is, I think, a significant growth
That's a growth.
in our school system.
That's fantastic. That's good. Any questions? Mr. Long?
Ms. Foche, how are we doing with our pupil-teacher ratio? Are we still staying
Pupil-teacher
within
ratio,
the state
absolutely,
guidelines?
absolutely. We've added, if we needed to add teachers and staff, we have done so. So at the elementary level, we try to keep those numbers as close to 20-to-1 as possible. Larger at the middle school, and then, of course, the high school, it's all over the map because we offer so many courses, so many different electives. It just depends on the course. But we're well within staffing guidelines for the state, and we've increased our number of employees, the number of teachers that we have.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Ms. Foche. Move on to item number 8. It's education. Mr. Warner.
Thank you, Mr. England. Item
I
number 8
guess
is
we've got
child nutrition program update.
Yes. Hello. Good morning. I mean, good afternoon. Oh, hi. I know, huh? Good evening. What is wrong with? I do.
Thank you, Ms. Bloom.
We'll talk about the smart.
What are the
snacks in a
goodies?
minute. I know. Okay, I'd like to give you a little update of what's going on in child nutrition programs. Some of the things you may have read in the paper or seen on the news, and a few things that we're doing in our school system. And these are, of course, Smart Snacks provided by a Pepsi company that provides those. As we had last year, a few new little items that you might like to try. And we'll talk about those in a second. On the front page, I'm going to show the PowerPoint, and then you can, of course, read. I'm not going to read every line to you, but it's a little more detailed, and we'll talk about everything that's on these little slides. Okay, this year, the United States Department of Agriculture is funded by, of course, Congress makes the regulations every year, and it updates. So this year, we have some new flexibilities that we're able to put into place in our school, our school nutrition programs, our child nutrition programs. And we'll talk about them for a minute. Before, remember when the Healthy Free Kids Act came in 2012, and we talked about it, you had to have everything whole grain, and the milk was different and everything. Well, after that implementation, every year we were afforded some flexibility if we would have a waiver. And so we would apply for waivers that we thought were beneficial to our students. But this year, the USDA has given the flexibilities of these particular items to everyone who participates in the program. So these are the things that we're going to implement in our school system. This year, instead of whole grain rice and pasta, we will be using enriched, which is the white stuff. So our children really accept the white wheat bread. They're fine with it. And all of our pizza crust and breading on things, that's all whole grain. But they really are not happy with the rice and the pasta. So we decided to get the rice and the pasta. We'll still have French bread again, because that's part of our 50%, and we will have biscuits that are made out of enriched wheat flour. Those are the two flexibilities we asked for in the past few years. And this, when it opened up, we said, hey, how about enriched rice and pasta? We will use our stock of whole grain until it runs out, because we have some in our warehouse, but then after that we'll have the white, rice and pasta. Hopefully that'll help us out a lot, especially with one of our new recipes. If you come to visit us, we're going to do a chicken Alfredo this year. I think the kids are going to like it, so it ought to be good. And then sodium levels will stay on target 1. I put a position paper of sodium levels backed up by many, many studies, and it's in your packet if you'd like to read that. But the reason why sodium was really important and the levels were dropped down is because high sodium diets are related to cardiovascular disease. And this is the reason why in the past with the act, that was one of the things that was reduced. But the sodium levels were supposed to be reduced again this year to target 2, and then they were supposed to be reduced again to another, in a few years, to another level, which would be extremely low. So right now, the sodium levels are going to stay as they have been, and on the first page I wrote down for you, I gave you a list of the sodium levels for lunch meals. So right now, for instance, in high school, you could have 14 and 20 milligrams of sodium. That sounds like a lot, but milk has 150 milligrams of sodium. Just the carton of 8-ounce milk has 150. Fruits and vegetables do have some sodium too, and so natural foods have sodium in them. But that seems to be workable for us, and it's helping us out a lot. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing, milk now can be 1% and fat-free for unflavored and flavored milk. Unflavored's the white, and flavored is chocolate and strawberry. Before this flexibility, all flavored milk had to be fat-free. So actually, our students are fine with the fat-free. We get the fat-free from our dairy, which is Brown's Dairy this year. But it's good to have the flexibility because we can offer maybe more choices in future times. So those are the 3 things that we're going to implement in our school system this year. Okay, now we have online lunch applications. You know, all children at St. Shelmet High School are still filling out lunch applications. So this year we implemented online applications. They still can have a paper one, but if they go to the website and they click on the fork and knife, they'll see the food nutrition, you know, the food services page, and there are 2 links. One is for English and one is for other languages. And those are the other languages that they are available in. And the good part about it is parents can do it on their phone. So it guides them through, just like when you shop online, if you do, which I am a big online shopper, it brings you through every question line by line. And then when you submit it, it also tells the parent, this looks like it's going to process as a free, reduced, or paid application. Now, of course, they have to get the confirmation from us. But what happens is if you went online right now and you wanted to fill out a lunch application online, on your computer, or on your phone, by the time you finish and submit it, it goes right to our office on our software program. So the turnover time is really quick. It's in a little queue, and then all I do is confirm the child is one of our students and confirm the income, which of course is right there. I just check off to make sure it picked up the right numbers, and that's it. And then of course we send letters home like we always do to parents. So it's really, really pretty amazing, and it's really good. It's catching on slowly, but I think it's going to be something that we want to look forward to in the future, especially the foreign language, languages. We do have paper applications that we can give in any kind of language, but I think this might be a boon even for parents too. So it's something I'm really excited about, because I think this is going to be in the future even more, acceptable and something. Now the wellness policy update, I gave you the wellness policy, which there were a few little changes from last year. Your wellness policy is in there. We just changed a few of the local the local things that we're going to be doing. For instance, the federal and state requirements haven't changed. The school board policies for lunch and meal times hasn't changed. But the things that we're going to do as a district, we will be evaluating the wellness policy in our wellness policy meeting in January. And also in September, when I have the dietetic interns here in September, they do go out and do outreach and surveys with the students. This September, they're going to be at Shelmet High. Then the interns that come later will go to other schools and do the wellness policy surveys, because then we can get a good idea of what's going on in our schools and if our wellness policy is really reflecting what we are doing to make children's lives a little healthier in our school, just like everything else. Now, this is what the wellness policy is about. First, we do implementation, which we have. Observation, we're going to do student surveys. We talk to the students, parents, teachers, and staffs. The surveys are available online, too, on the web page if anyone would like to take a survey, parents or community people. They can do it, send it right in to us. And then, of course, for students, it's easier for us to distribute them, but they can do it online, too. My staff does this also because I want to get an idea of my staff and make sure that they understand what's going on with that. And then we review, we look at our findings, we revise the wellness policy if there's any revision. And then on the right-hand side, of course, it's all about what's in the wellness policy. The smart snacks, which you all have in that bag. Last year we talked about this too. According to the law, we are supposed to be serving foods that are smart snack compliant in our school day. And so, of course, in our cafeterias, these are some things that we might serve. For instance, next week we're going to have nachos, and the kids are either going to get corn chips or they're going to get the Doritos with the nacho meat. But all of that's smart snack compliant, so it's not fried, it's baked, it's lower sodium. They're made for school, but they're recognizable, items that kids like, and the kids really do like them. It helps them to come in and eat. Then, of course, nutrition education. As I said, we do have an initiative. We go around, we do nutrition education, and we try to spread it out among different groups of kids to try to get athletes, performers this year. We're going to go to the performers. We go to the nutrition classes at Chalmette High. We go to PE classes at some of the elementaries, and we go to the cooking, the little cooking club at Andrew Jackson too. So that's always good, and the girls do a great job because what they do, well, I shouldn't say girls because sometimes we have boys, but the interns from Tulane always come, and they do they give them great ideas about what to eat after school, and a little bit about nutrition and how to fuel your body and how to take care of yourself. So that's a good thing, in and out of school. Then, of course, it addresses physical activity, and that's all about PE and children being active and healthy living. We try to promote healthy living practices and engage in our children in learning about nutrition and also being aware of things that happen in the nutrition. Okay, and then another little thing that's happening this year is we have 2 grants that we did get from USDA. One is a team nutrition grant, and that grant is at Willie Smith Elementary. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about it. Smith Elementary School. One of the teachers last year decided to partner with us for a team nutrition grant because it's got to be a classroom and food service collaborative. So what happened is she grew a hydroponic garden for the children and all kind of nutrition lessons, and we did have taste tests over there, and we supported it in our school. This year another teacher has taken it over. She's going to do an herb garden for the children at the school, and she's also going to do a lot of nutrition education too. That's a team nutrition grant. The fresh fruit and vegetable grant we got last year, and that is also at Smith Elementary. And what happens every day, at least 4 times a week, the children get a fruit or vegetable snack after lunch during the school day. And with the grant, it affords us the ability to purchase many different kinds of fruits and vegetables that children might normally not get at home, and in the school cafeteria are very costly. So, with our school lunch budget, it's really difficult to buy watermelon and honeydew melon and all kind of exotic fruits and vegetables, but with that grant, we're able to do it. So it's really been really nice. The kids look forward to it. Every teacher, every child in the school gets the snack every day we do it. And so I think we have a lot of positive feedback from it. It's been a really good thing for our school. All right. And then, of course, lastly, you all are invited, please, to come visit our cafeterias, come serve. The ladies love having you. The kids love seeing you. And if you ever would like to come at any time, just come. Usually I come back around January and ask you to come in February, but I'll be glad to have you at any time. Thank you. And does anybody have any questions? All right.
Board members have any questions? Mrs. Dysart.
Thank you, Mr. Warner. Not a question, just Joni, Ms. Bloom, you do such a great job living by all the requirements that the federal government puts on us with, the amount of sodium, the amount of fat and all that. You do a wonderful job, and we do appreciate all your extra efforts that you do to try to make our children nutritionally healthy and happy. And your staff does a great job too. They really do. Anytime you go in the cafeteria, it's a beautiful thing to see the ladies know almost all those children's names. And of course the children know the ladies' names too. But it's just, I just want to say thank you for your extra efforts and for your, and all of your team.
Well, we appreciate it,
Thank
and it's
you.
great. You know, we get to love them and feed them, and that's the good part. We don't have to test anybody.
That's right.
So we just get the good parts of the school day, you know.
And just one question, I know when we go to serve, sometimes the little ones can't get the chocolate milk. What is the cutoff?
Well, there we go.
And why?
If you would see the first, actually, that's the first little point. Last year, 2 years, well, last year we had to implement it in October 2018. The USDA changed the preschool requirements for meals. And because we have preschool in our schools, we can have some modification, but we still have to follow some of the guidelines. For instance, if you had a Head Start center or a preschool center, you would have to strictly follow every different, you know, rule and amounts of food and all that. But because we have children within our school, we can modify some, but some of the things are not negotiable, such as milk has to be unflavored. They cannot have flavored milk in preschool. No. And that was from last year. I know. So we haven't worked
They
out.
watch the 5-year-old kindergartners drink chocolate milk.
Yeah.
And bacon.
Yeah. Well, you see, at breakfast, I know. At breakfast, the preschool children come separately at breakfast, so that's not even a problem because they eat in separate times and they come with their classes and all that, so it's okay. But for lunch, that was the question. How are we going to do this? Because they come in a class, they're not mixed up, but they still are in a cafeteria setting with all the other children. So we explained it to them, and then also we have we worked it out in every cafeteria that when the preschool line comes, and the ladies know, they just have one section open, so it's only available, you know, white's only available. You don't say, you can't have that. But, yeah.
I know they close the cooler, and the kids are
I know. But they do know, and last year, I remember I was in one cafeteria, and a little boy told me, next year I get to get chocolate. That's what I said.
That's an incentive.
I said, I know, when you're in kindergarten, you can get chocolate. But they know, and those are the regulations that we have to follow. Another thing is that all of the preschool children have to have everything on their plate. That's a lot of food, because the other children can have what they call offer versus serve. They can pick 3 things. But if you had a preschool center or a Head Start center, you would have like family seating, and the children could, you know, just like in your family, pass around food and put something on a plate and taste it. But we can't do that at school. So in order to kind of compromise with that, we put everything on their plate and they can taste it if they want to or not. So that's that. And then of course the fruit juice, they can't have more than 1 fruit juice a day. So we don't give any fruit juice at breakfast because some of our lunches have fruit juice. And that would be really confusing, you know, and everything. But yeah, the minimum of 1, you can only have 1 a day, so you can't have more than, in breakfast we just decided not to do it. And then 6 grams of sugar. So 6 grams of sugar for things like cereal and breakfast items, because at lunch, all of our children eat the same meal and it's fine, except if we have something that has more than 6 grams of sugar, we have to modify it. So if you look at the menus, you'll see pre-K on breakfast. They'll have pre-K. It'll be a different breakfast than sometimes the other ones. We try not to do it, but like cinnamon roll, they can't have cinnamon roll. So they have to have something else. So
I'll have to hurry up and get to kindergarten.
You have to accelerate. I'm sorry to tell you.
No donuts?
Well, we put, I know, and we have a whole grain donut, which is really good, and it's really healthy, but we can't give them that either.
Oh, no.
So we have to give them something else. And, you know, we have to change things like we'll put graham cracker instead of the donut, or we'll put, you know, for the cinnamon roll this year, they really like that pancake on a stick. They can have that. So instead of cinnamon roll for them, I'll put pancake on a stick. So it'll be something, oh, good, you know, that they like. But those are some of the challenges that you have to face, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. We have to do it. So, you know, it is what it is.
Mr. England.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Warner. Johnny, what about the grant, you know, for pre-K all the way to 8th grade? It's all paid for.
Yes.
The parents don't have to pay for
Yes.
the lunch or the breakfast.
Yes.
Is that true?
That is true. We have that for 4 years. This is the 3rd year.
Okay.
And then we will hopefully reapply
Mhm.
and then be able to extend it.
Right. Will any time in the near future, what about the high school?
We are working very hard to make sure that happens.
Okay.
We really, really are.
Because it really help out the parents,
Yes.
you know, as far as
Oh,
that
it
goes.
would.
It's a numbers game.
It's a
It
numbers
is,
game.
it is.
Okay.
And you know, we just crunch those numbers all the time, so I'm already working on that.
Right.
You know, because in April, a decision has to be made.
Right.
Based on what you have, you know, available. So we're really working on it because it would be fabulous
Oh,
and I
yes.
would love it.
Right.
It would be great. I know all the parents would love it, everybody would love it. It would be
Right.
great.
You know, y'all doing a fantastic job, and just keep it up, and keep us updated, you know, for the high school.
We sure will.
Okay.
We sure will.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Warner.
You're welcome, Mr. England. Anybody else? Well, Ms. Bloom, thank you for the update on the school nutrition program.
You're welcome.
The wellness policy, I know last year, I think we updated it.
Yes.
It was last year, and we
Yes.
implemented it. Are we doing any measurable results on it? Are we keeping track of any data?
We are. Actually, I didn't print these for you, and I couldn't, but I do. We do, like, here's an example if you want to look. But we do, you know, take our surveys, and we just, you know, we try to tabulate what we have. I'm hoping to get more results this year, though. We got a really small sample last year, but this year we're hoping to get more results, and then we will be able to see what's going on with it, because you can't update something if you really don't know how it's working.
Right,
You know,
right.
and then we can revise,
Yep.
and rethink about it, but yeah, that's what we're doing. So that's what the interns are doing now, and of course, we will keep on working on that
Great.
throughout the year.
Great. I'd be looking forward to seeing some of those results maybe next year.
All right.
And anybody else? If not, we'll move on. Well, do we need a motion or anything on this? We good?
No.
Thanks again, Ms. Bloom. I need to echo the sentiments of all the board members. You do a great job.
Well, thank you.
Fabulous job. You and your staff.
Oh, well, they
And
look
all your,
great. That's what makes me look good. My staff is great.
doing a
So,
great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate it.
And all
Mr.
the
England.
cooks, and all the cooks.
Yes, that's right.
The
Exactly.
staff, right,
Exactly.
the staff.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Mr. England?
Thank you, Mr. Warner. Okay, we go to item number 9, executive, Ms. Dysart.
Thank you, Mr. England. Next item are personnel changes, and before you have the personnel changes. for
Right,
this month.
you can take a look. I'll be happy to answer any questions, but it's very stable right now, and we're fully staffed on the teacher side, so we're very happy about that. Of course, we have our usual pregnancies or medical leaves where we will have to, get long-term subs in for those events, but right now, things are going pretty well.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any questions at this time on personnel? Okay. At this moment, I'm thinking about personnel, but I wanted to give a point of privilege. I know Mr. Granberry is an excellent personnel director, but last night I was privileged enough to be at the Saints game, and on the Jumbotron, they featured Mr. Granberry's daughter, Erin Granberry Johnson, as Teacher of the Week. So I want to congratulate Erin. I was so proud seeing her up there, and I'm like, yes, Erin, and she teaches at Davies. So congratulations to Erin Granberry Johnson and to the Granberry family. I know they have another daughter and who is also a teacher at Chelmsford High. So congratulations, Erin, for Teacher of the Week. Thank you. Okay, next, Mr. England.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dysart. Item number 10, that's some insurance. Mr. Egan.
Mic on. Okay, we have the renewal of the general liability, auto and legal liability insurance. All right, we have all the people that know what's going on, so we're waiting.
Well, we have some of the people that know what's going on. Out here.
I'm sorry, I just made a blanket statement on that.
Well, again, you have a recommendation for renewal of the general liability, auto, and legal liability policy. This is an annual thing that we have to do, and we have our friends from Clements Insurance Services, Mr. Ritchie and Tim Clements, with us tonight to answer any questions. We're recommending, as you know, for the past decade and a half, probably, we have been participating in an insurance pool of Louisiana school districts, namely LARMA is the name of the pool. And we've had great success with this pool, and we are recommending that we renew with the pool for the current year, beginning October 2019 through September 2020. The premium, the base premium, as you see in your exhibit, is going to be, for all of these coverages, is $208,194. We offset that with an equity refund, which comes in the form of a safety grant, which we've gotten every year for the past several years at $23,742. So the net premium is $184,452. And we have also an exhibit which shows the current year coverages as well as the previous 2 years. So, Mr. Clements has also gone out and tested the market for conventional insurance, because we do that every year as well. And we were unable to get any proposals or anything that would be competitive with what the LARMA Group is offering.
Right.
So our recommendation is to renew with LARMA for the stated premiums, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
All right, board members, or anyone?
Yeah.
Mr. England?
Thank you, Mr. Egan. Well, at this time, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that we move it to the full board for a recommendation.
All right. We have a motion from, pardon me, from Mr. England, seconded by Ms. Acevedo. Any further questions? All right,
I
please.
have a question. real quick.
Yes, Ms. Dysart?
I see under the extensions, watercraft liability?
You get a non-owned watercraft coverage. It's in every general liability policy
Okay,
to a certain limit,
okay,
26 feet, I think it
all righty.
Do we have any further questions?
Thank you.
I just like that refund that we get every year. That helps.
Yeah, when I walk on water. Okay, would you please vote?
Wait, Joe had
Joe has a question.
That's fine, that's fine.
What? I'm sorry, Mr. Long.
No, that's fine.
Well, go ahead, sir.
Well, my comment was, it looks as though all the coverages stayed about the same, right?
Yes, sir.
Just
The premium's a little bit,
glancing at it.
yeah, the premium's a little bit higher than it was last year, and that's because the rebate was lower because of a high payout for another district last year. Not us, but it reduced the reserves and kind of limited the payout. But normally, we would get a higher rebate and would lower the premium, but that's
Well, Loma's been
the
good
nature
to
of
us
the
for so
business.
many years.
Yes, they have been, and it's
I see
still
no
a very...
reason why we should change.
You know, and it's still a very reasonable premium. And we've been very happy with our experience with Loma, so.
Right. Okay, good, thank you.
Anyone further? Sorry, Mr. Long.
No problem.
All right, please vote.
Motion passes 10-0.
Thank you.
That's mine, taking my weapon. All right, the next thing is the superintendent's recommendation.
Okay.
Just every year, schools, all schools throughout the state of Louisiana are required within the first 30 days of school, 30 to 60 days of school, to have their lockdown drills. And many of our schools have been doing that this year. We still have a couple more scheduled. So at the regular meeting, then I'll do a report as to how that turned out. But every school simulates an active shooter lockdown drill, and we do that in conjunction with the Sheriff's Department. So everything's been going very well to this point, and I'll have more information on that at the regular meeting. I think Super News talked about the events that I was going to speak about coming up, but again, to pay special attention to the Chalmette High Alumni Association for the September 20th Chalmette High School Holy Cross football game. Afterward will be a social in the cafeteria, and it's really usually very, very well attended. And as they said on Super News, while it's the Chalmette High Alumni Association, membership is open to all graduates of our schools in St. Bernard, PGT. We even have Old Momus high school graduates, as well as Andrew Jackson and Chalmette High School. So it's a wonderful event each year. If you haven't been there, come to the game, join the association. There is a $10 membership fee, but you don't have to pay it to come to the social, but it would be very nice if people would join. It's only a $10 membership fee, and it's just a nice event. We can see many people from the parish who come back that day, and we invite everyone who is in attendance at the stadium that night. And we just wanted to mention, if you were not able to come to last Friday night's football game with Chalmette High and Hannon, it was a very exciting game that went back and forth and back and forth, and Chalmette High won by 1 point. It was in overtime, 43-42, I think. I know Sean would probably have more of the details, but a very thrilling final drive. I think there was some strategy involved where we allowed Hannon to score right before the game, on the end of the game, on purpose, so we'd get one more possession. We were down by 8, drove down, made a beautiful catch, touchdown catch, and we were down by 2 then, went for the 2-point conversion, and tied it up and sent it to overtime. So very excited, and we won by 1. So
We won over.
go Owls!
Ms. Fulcher,
Fun game to watch and be a part of.
That was very nice.
talking about the Chalmette Holy Cross game with the alumni, every year, I think the alumni, if you went to the gate and you paid $10 to join, you get a free ticket.
You
to
got
the
a free
game.
ticket
So
to
I
the
just wanna
game,
Remind
right.
everyone that they will have a free ticket to the game if they join the alumni. Okay? All right. All right, we'll move on to, any other questions from Ms. Poche? Okay. Move on to item number 12, adjournment. Have a motion by Mr. Campbell, second by Ms. Esteveda. All in favor?
Aye.
Venus adjourned. Thank you and good night.
And if y'all